Hey, folks, man. This is Monk. We're back with another Classics of Cinematics episode, and I'm joined as always with my co-host Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo.
And on this episode, we're going to be talking about 1998's He Got Game, directed by Spike Lee. And this cast is stacked. So we're starring Denzel Washington. We got Ray Allen, got Rosario Dawson, Mila Jovovich, Zelda Harris, Jim Brown, Hill Harper, and those are, I think, our main cast. You know, we got a lot of, it's crazy. This is a Spike Lee joint. We've got a rogues gallery of almost everyone who's ever appeared in a Spike Lee film, plus more, plus all kinds of sports people and all kinds of stuff because of the nature of this film.
Mm-hmm.
And let's get to the synopsis about this, man. So this film is it's about Jake Shuttlesworth, played by Denzel Washington. He spent the last 6 years in prison after accidentally killing his wife during a violent domestic dispute, leaving his son, star basketball prospect Jesus Shuttlesworth, to fend for himself. One day, the prison warden approaches Jake with an unusual offer. He'll be given a week of parole to convince Jesus to attend the governor's alma mater, with the promise of a shortened sentence if he succeeds. And it goes on from there, man. So what are your initial thoughts, man? What do you like about this film, man?
Me personally, the acting. The acting really stood out to me. I know we were joking around before about like everybody was just, they were acting very well, except for Ray Allen, but it's no fault of his own. He's not an actor. He's not an actor. He was a professional basketball.
See, I was mentioning earlier, it was a strange decision for me because this is a movie. You could put an actor in this. I feel like we could have found a basketball playing actor who could act to play this role, and it probably would have been a slightly bit better, man.
But he wouldn't have been able to play ball like Ray though.
Yeah, but I don't.
But there wasn't a whole lot of basketball scenes.
Yeah, and I don't think people came to see this movie because of Ray Allen was in it. That wasn't pushing it.
I think it was because of Denzel.
Yeah, it was Denzel movie. It was Spike Lee and Denzel.
And he puts this film on his back and carries it. I mean, like what you get from Denzel is it's great. It's well worth watching just because of the character that he portrays, and he does it so well. I mean, his emotional compass, like, I mean, he looks so callous and cold at times, but you can tell like he's still got a heart that beats heavy in his chest. You know what I mean? He's
Denzeling, but he's also clearly playing a character, man. Like the subtleties about this dude that just still make him so fascinating to watch because he's been in like this is maybe the third Spike joint. He did Mo Better Blues. He did Malcolm X. And this guy, he's Denzel, but he's still also a different character. Like, even the way he walks to the warden's room and he's in the jail, I'm like, yo, this guy's been in there for a while. Like, I got you can feel it. You can feel the weight of the incarceration on him. He's got a little bit of the jail swag. Even when they're bringing him out and bringing him out of the jail and getting him into the streets again, the way he's walking around, it's just like a guy that just got out. Yeah. Even though he's not really out, but he's still, he got a little weekend pass or something, but it's there. He's such a good actor, man. He's right. He carries this, man. He makes it interesting because like I was telling you earlier, man, the story is just really ridiculous. This is not going to happen in real life, but he does such a good job. You here for the ride. Once you see him on the screen, you're settled in, man.
And honestly, I mean, even though there are parts of this story, of this plot that, just like you said, is just so far fetched and would never happen in real life, but the film, when you get down into like the meat and potatoes of it, it's really just a film about redemption and forgiveness. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Depending on which character you're
there's a lot of themes
you're looking through. There's a lot, but I mean, those were the two that carried heavy for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think one of the main themes is, I mean, in a weird way, this is Spike's love letter to basketball, but it's the Spike way, so it is kind of warped in many ways. But like one of the things that's recurring to me is that everyone wants a piece of this guy who clearly has a rise, but even then, I'm still kind of iffy because like from what I just know about the numbers and the odds, I mean, we get a Jesus Shuttlesworth. There's hundreds of Jesus Shuttlesworth in this country at any given moment, and they don't all make it. So it's kind of weird that they're putting all this pressure on this young man. And yeah, he's one of the top high school recruits to go into a college. But we still don't that's still not to guarantee anything, man. Like when people tell me, Raiders got the #1 draft pick, I don't get hyped, man.
Man, you still got to show and prove.
You know how many draft guys are a bust, or you know how many times a 4th or 5th round pick ends up being an MVP? Like
you got to look at the levels too. Like just because you're a star high school athlete doesn't mean you're going to automatically be a star collegiate athlete and then a star professional athlete.
It'll get you in the door.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's crazy to me that everyone is trying to attach hitch to this guy's wagon, so to speak, and because they think that he's got a chance. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, the way they gravitate to him it's wild. But then you also see not a single person is asking him about his choice because they're genuinely concerned for him. They all are asking for personal gain. Like they're like, oh, well, if you can tell me this little bit of information, I'll throw you this little bit of money. So because then they're going to get some on the back end. Or you got his girlfriend who's played by the wonderful, magnificent Rosario Dawson. I love every role that she's ever been in.
That's why you got to watch Mandalorian. Hey, I'm telling you, bro, you're sleeping, Bob.
Not for nothing. Like this is the one film where I don't like the character that she portrays. But it was significant to the film because yet again, she just had a leg up because she was his significant other in trying to get him, steer him in a certain direction. She actually wanted him to go talk to a sports agent, which is illegal to do when you're a high school prospect. You can't talk to sports agents until after the season or something like that, and you damn sure can't talk to them.
But thing that's funny about that is like the rules of this stuff is so ambiguous and ridiculous. It's like, who knows who's going to keep track of that? Well, if I got a Twitter account, I can tweet an agent, no one's going to know. They don't know. It's so crazy to me.
They don't know until you start having a paper trail. Like you notice when Jesus does go and talk to the sports agent, the sports agent starts bragging on his cars and telling them about all this money that he can make, which I also thought that was a dumb thing to do. Don't brag on everything you got off the sweat.
Speak about the acting though, that dude was terrible.
He was.
I hated that scene. Like I was rewatching, I was like, this guy was terrible.
Yes, he was.
You got John Turturro right here, Spike. Come on, let him be the agent.
The thing tripped me out is like, even though Jesus wasn't biting, on the bait or whatever, at the end of the conversation, he still tries to toss him a Rolex. Here, this is just a gift from so-and-so.
That was the whole Lala setup. That was her people. It's her trying to get her. I'm pretty sure that dude offered her, I'll give you $100,000 or something if you get him in here and sign this contract.
The back end was paying her off. But see, that's how people get caught. See, if he would have took the Rolex, then that's confirmation that the conversation took place. Outside of that, he didn't take nothing. It's hearsay. They say he had a conversation. He says he did. No one knows. You know what I mean?
It's crazy how it presents that, man. I think that's kind of cool. That we get those instances because it's coming from everybody, man. And honestly, they do it so much in this film. I was getting frustrated about it, and maybe that was the point for us to feel how Jesus felt. Because I was like, I get it, Spike, I get it. But then at the same time, I was like, all right, this is why he's so annoyed, with this thing. But it's one thing that stands out. Like I said, when I spoke about the cast, there's a rogues gallery of Spike Lee movie guys. We got Bill Nunn, who's Radio Raheem, who plays the uncle. The uncle's trying to get. But see, I mean, in a way, it sucks. It sucks. I don't like how Uncle Bubba did it.
No,
because I mean, the thing is, like I feel like, just from what we know about this guy already, he's annoyed about everybody trying to get at him, but he still seems like a solid, good dude generally. And I feel like you could have looked out for Uncle Bubba, who clearly Uncle Bubba took him and his sister in after the dad killed the mom in prison.
Yeah. But he almost made him feel like you owe us. I know this guy would reach back and take care of Uncle Bubba when he gets on, I almost wanted to punch the TV when Uncle Bubba got so angry, and he's like, yeah, so why are you trying to cut us out the deal? It's like, dude, he ain't even made no deal yet. But then see, on the flip side, it was funny to me because this is one of the things that make the story not make sense. Like, he was so reluctant to take anything from the sports agent, but as a high school senior, you have your own apartment. The high school coach tries to pass him more money for information of the choice, and then he starts to go into, I was paying your rent. I was doing that.
I think it got too close. That's why he backed off. Like it's too close to me declaring my school and all this. I know the scrutiny is going to be a lot higher. Like, calm down, coach.
Yeah, because I mean,
but what's the coach going to get out of it? If I get what's it? Like, they're going to pay you back my loan?
Fact of the matter is, I mean, dude's a high school student, taking care of his younger sister, lives in a nice apartment, has no job. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if anybody really wanted to dig deep into, what's really going on in this young man's life, it wouldn't be hard to find.
It's such a corrupt system because, like, that's why I feel like, man, college players should earn something, especially if you're part of a sport that has $1 billion TV deal. Like, you should be getting some of that.
Or a coach that's getting paid multi-million dollars contracts. You know what I'm saying? They're the only ones not, putting the work. I mean, they're doing the coaching work, and that's fine. But you're not the one risking your body, risking your health. I mean, think of how many football players.
Even if you're not going to give them to it straight up, maybe it's when they graduate or whenever they leave school, then they get the money. Like, I'm cool with that too, but give them something. I mean, there's too much involved with this,
but
man.
Not for nothing.
How does the SEC have a $1 billion contract with like ABC and all that? Like it's or the Pac-10? Like it's crazy.
With all the stipulations they put on the high school athletes, they need right now money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They need spending money. Well, what if they want to take their significant other out on a date or buy a new pair of shoes?
Man, what if you want to eat some Taco Bell?
Or what if you don't want to eat Taco Bell and you actually want to go get some steak somewhere? Like, why do you want to eat the
recent rule that they've changed is that NCAA made was that, college athletes can earn money off of their likeness, meaning they
make a video game of them.
Well, it's kind of actually more expensive than you would think because there's some people that are, maybe gymnasts, NCAA level gymnasts that traditionally, they don't have the TV deals and all that, but they can make contracts if they want with certain promotions, maybe the local gym company or Planet Fitness or something like that. So they can make money off of their likeness, but
they also need to make money off jersey sales because personally, I had an Allen Iverson Georgetown jersey. It didn't say Iverson on the back though. It just had his number.
But you know which number dude you was buying.
That's what I'm saying.
So and crazy thing, since they made that rule change, EA announced that the NCAA basketball and football are coming back.
Exactly.
So now those guys will probably be able to get some bread off of it.
Man, if you're selling memorabilia, if you're going to sell jerseys, make them numberless. If you're just going to promote the school, put the money back into the school, don't put no numbers on it. Otherwise, you're going to have to pay that player, you know what I'm saying? Because that's why people are getting the jerseys.
Yeah. So one of the things that did stand out to me is, because Spike, sometimes he has these montages in his movie. And I think there's several cool ones with this, like the way the film starts off with all these little kids, playing basketball wherever they're at, wherever they're on a farm. One dude's shooting on a rim that's nailed to the top of a barn, dribbling in the grass. There's dudes in the hood playing, and
they're all ages, they're different walks of life.
There's girls playing, and it's dope. I like how that started off, man. It's just really cool, just to show how.
The love of the game.
Yeah, you're right. The love of the game, man. I think that was a really dope moment.
Yes.
And then we get the montage again though, when which I think is crazy. One of my favorite ones is later, but I think there's one between that. But when the local drug dealer picks him up, gives him a ride. Big time. At first you think Big Time's just like everyone else trying to get his hooks in. And he kind of
have to weed through the bullshit.
But Big Time was probably the most thorough dude in here to me, because Big Time said, "So why you think nobody mess with you?" He's like, "That's because I told them if they mess with you, they're gonna have to deal with me.
Their body's gonna be found in the Atlantic River."
But at the same time, Big Time doesn't stop there. Big Time says, I guess maybe Big Time is looking, maybe when he gets on, he's hoping he remembers him and Big Time can take advantage of his hanging out with this star basketball player. But at the same time, Big Time gives him the biggest warning, which is great. Like, he's talking everything the opposite of what everyone else is coming at him like, well, what can you, what can you do for me? I'm trying to get some information out of you. But Big Time is like, yo, you need to watch out for this. And this is one of my favorite montages.
Yes.
It's crazy. It's
dude,
Spike Lee style, but it's just the drugs, then the
he
women,
goes from A to Z,
and then the leeches.
and then he's like, watch out for family. People are going to come out of left field. I love you. What can you do for me? And then the one chick is like, I need some money for my baby Similac. I need some money for my baby Amber. I need some Dolce & Gabbana for me, some Channel.
It's great because it's the most. He's at this point, he's probably the most realistic guy to Jesus at this time, man. It's great,
and it's
man.
wild too because some of the things that he was saying, Jesus noticed was happening.
Yeah.
When it came to the thing, when it came to the girl, the people asking things for him, and not for nothing. Another thing that really stood out to me in this film was the flashbacks. Love the flashbacks.
I feel like those were the best.
That's what made
done
the film.
parts of this movie. Like that felt like another film.
And it puts things in perspective.
In a lot of ways, I probably would have rather have watched that movie than this one.
Yeah.
Like if you got the
show me young Jesus and asshole Denzel. Because I mean, dude, that's the thing. Like when we first see Denzel, it's almost like, man,
there's a lot there, dude.
We don't really know what's going on. It's not that we feel bad for Denzel. We just know that there's a lot of
you know what it feels like to me, dude? You know what it feels like to me? It feels like you've been James Evans in a way for good times. I know that shit's people feel like it's a problem, but a guy that's just a working class guy and he just didn't have his shot, but now he has this kid here that has the skills and could possibly do what he wanted to do. So in a way, he's kind of living through this.
He's living vicariously. Yeah. But you know what? The thing of it is that there's a difference between coaching and the way that Denzel was doing. I mean, and it's sad because this happens.
It happens a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
Kids, they probably mess up because they push them too hard.
Yeah, or they lose their love for the sport.
You take the fun out of what they love doing. And honestly, dude, lately, I'm not Jesus Shuttlesworth, but I've been running into that with this podcast stuff. I mean, some people, they'll give me ideas and not really seeing what I'm already doing here, and it's a lot of work, dude. Yeah. But I'm trying to balance this line because, like, so if it gets too crazy, I'm not going to have fun doing it, and I'm not going to want to do it no more.
And that's the thing too, because this movie could have really took a completely different turn. Like, who knows? Once the mom died and Denzel went to jail, Jesus Shuttleworth could have never picked up a basketball again. He could have been so disgusted with the sport and the pressure.
Honestly, I think the mom dying probably drove him back to the sport because at this point it's just him and his sister. Yeah, the uncle stepped in and
that's all he got.
But then it's like I know I could get there with this, and I've got to buckle in and lean into this. So it's kind of messed up.
I'm sure he was a couple levels above his peers, like as far as the way he was playing. You could tell he was successful at it.
I mean, it's messed up. I mean, it's just like it's the whole dude. It's the whole Ike Turner, the whole Michael Jackson's Pops thing where it's like it's messed up what he did, but at the same time, I don't think these people would be where they at without that messed up what he did to him. You know what I'm saying? It's messed up.
It's wild too because you get two different versions. Like when the warden first asked him about playing basketball, he was like, "Yeah, I coached a couple of the kids around the neighborhood," and it looked like he was actually really helping out, helping his son, working with him and everything. But then when we get that second flashback,
the dinner.
He was so hard on his. I mean, he was playing him like he was playing jail ball with a 12-year-old, throwing him around, bodying him up, blocking his shot, and drinking, and doing all this.
You didn't go to the left.
Yeah, belittling him in front of his homeboy. You know what I mean? Like even Denzel's homeboy was like, "Man, you wrong, dude.
Like too much, bro.
Like you throwing him down. You make him feel like worthless, and you think this is not coaching him. You know what I'm saying?" And I understand tough love, but this was deeper than that. It was like you're almost
that ain't gonna fly, bro. If you're even a high school coach doing any of that, he's gone. You can't.
And then and the thing of it is like you see the carryover because then that's where we actually get to see what happened between Jake and the mom. You know what I mean? But it's like. Enough wasn't enough. You already, were ragging on him the whole time on the court to the point where he throws the ball, walks off all upset, and then you come in the house and start ragging on him more. Just couldn't leave well enough alone. Like it's like, and that's I think that was also Spike's way of showing how sometimes, alcohol can change the way you present whatever it is you're trying to present. Because I mean, it showed him continuously drinking from the bottle. Never really gave us the indication that he had like some kind of an alcohol issue. But
it was there.
You could tell like that was changing his demeanor, and that maybe he wasn't really grasping the fact.
See, that's why I say like. See that movie because there's more going on. We get a glimpse, but there's got to be more going on because like I said, man, for some reason, whatever his shortcomings were in life, he put everything on that kid. And now that becomes his way out, his parachute, it was a lot, dude.
Yep. And and not for nothing, and I know this was completely different. This movie is not real, but the King Richard film, like when it showed some of the montages of him, or the coaching of the girls, like how he was hard on them, but he wasn't like the way Denzel was with Jesus. He was hard on them, but he was still he was doing it in a nurturing, caring kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Like pushing them to push themselves as hard as humanly possible, but not being belittling and degrading and making them feel like less than. You know what I mean? Whereas in this, like you get a clear indication that, Denzel was making him feel like he just wasn't good enough. It's like, dude, he is all of about 11, 12 years old. Yeah. He has got a long way to go.
I missed the free throw. I got to do 10 push-ups and it's already late. It's dark.
It's dark out. We're the only ones out there. And obviously it's past dinner time because the mom and the sister were already eating.
Yeah, dude. In a way, it's kind of crazy, man, because I watched that Ron Artest documentary a little while ago, and they were talking about how it would be him and his dad playing in 30-degree weather, or the last ones on the court, but it didn't look like what this was doing. Like it didn't seem like it was like at least the kid feels like he wasn't when they get into that real when it comes to a head, you can tell this kid is done. Like he's done. Tired, is late, and then the dinner time. That's what that scene was so powerful to me, man. The look on that kid's face felt so bad.
He was sick. He was sick because, like you said, I mean, Denzel. There is not one point through that whole scene where Denzel seems encouraging. Like it's like you're just
chopping them down, dude.
Bringing them down. You're driving a wedge between you and your son, but you in your mind you think that you're really gearing him for the next level. It's like, come on, man. Like, nah, that's not gonna work. But if anything, like I said, that's where I feel like this film is really, is so focused on the redemption and forgiveness side. Because, Denzel, when it gives us, him at the current state that he's in, he starts to see that the way he was doing things was wrong. And he sees how it affected not only his son, but the relationship between the two of them. Like, Jesus don't have nothing to do. He don't want nothing to do with him. But you can tell that he still loves him because it's his dad. But he's like, man, I love you from a distance, dude. You know what I'm saying?
And he was there when that happened. Like, that's a crazy moment, dude. Seeing that happen to your mom, like, that's gotta be insane, dude.
Oh my gosh. And it was wild because, like you said, that was such an impactful scene. And you know something bad's gonna happen, but like you seen, like right when she hit her head, she fell and she wasn't moving. Like that's when the light clicked on for for the father. Like he's like, oh shit. And instantly he becomes, concerned and trying to help, help through the situation. Call the police, like, call an ambulance. Well, we got to make sure your mom's okay. But by that point, it's too late. It's like, dude, you were flame on up until that point. Like everyone was getting it. Like the only reason why him and the mom even got into an altercation is because she got tired of him riding Jesus so hard. Like she stepped up and to defend him. Like, yo, like what you're doing is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like he did everything except for take the little kid's plate and say, man, you know what? You ain't eating shit. Because you didn't do good enough on the floor.
Dude, it wasn't necessary, man. But like I said, man, like that would be make another great film, man. Like it could just to see what got him to that point. Why is he taking this out on this kid like that, man?
But then when everything comes full circle, that's why I love the final segment where Jake goes up to Jesus with the papers, like, look, man, this is what it is. I'm out here because I need you to commit to this school. It'll help reduce my sentence. He pulls no punches, tells him straight up. And then Jesus also is like, he comes to the realization, like, damn, you too. Everybody who's doing what I'm doing, it's not about me, it's about what
these last 5 days
make, how it's going to help you. And then so, Jake was like, man, I'll play you one-on-one for it. And then that's where you see the transition, because now Jake is older.
There's a difference though. Like fooling him. Jesus is busting his ass on the court, but he's not. He's talking some shit, but he never gets to the level that we saw Denzel being with him. Jake being with him. Like it never gets to that level. He did
it in a way where it was like almost like it was harder. I think it was harder to take the way Jesus beat on Jake than vice versa. Because see, Jake beat on Jesus when Jesus was half his size. You know what I'm saying? He was a little kid. He was inexperienced and he was still learning. Whereas now Jesus was like, man, you're the one who mentored me. You were the one who coached me, and now I'm doing it in a more subtle way. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to body you up.
I don't have to be mean about it.
I don't have to be mean. Like the way Jesus belittled him, it was tastefully done. You know what I'm saying? Like the only thing that I think that probably got under Denzel's skin was, because now he's older, so he starts getting winded and stuff. And who knows? Last time he played one-on-one with somebody,
they showed him in the beginning in Attica,
but he was always playing by himself. Just shooting, like playing horse. But yeah, man, Jesus is like, hey man, you tired? Nah, man, come on, man. I got some more points to score.
It's crazy because even at the conclusion of that scene, we don't know what Jesus is going to do, but apparently he does go to big state, and but I don't get, the ending is a little ambiguous to me because he's still in jail. But I think also, all right, let me just go back a little bit. He commits to big state, but that's a testament to Jesus' character. Like, he's like, you could tell he still cares about his dad. He could have went anywhere.
I think because it all hit the head for him when he saw his dad get put in cuffs.
Yeah.
Like he had no respect, no remorse, no love for his father up until that point, or at least that was the impression that was being given. But then when the cops came, one which was played by Jim Brown, that was really cool. He was such an a-hole. Once they turned him around and he was looking at his dad looking at him, and he gets put in those cuffs. The paper was still on the floor, and but the messed up thing about it is the way they pull the loophole. And this is how, them initially giving him parole for the week to try and get Jesus to commit, that's far-fetched. But what happens in the end of the movie, that probably happens more times than we ever hear about. Whereas you're promised something.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Because that was confusing when I rewatched it last night. I was like, well, damn, did the governor live up to his word, or is he going to live up to his word, or is he waiting for the governor to because a lot of times with governors, it's a thing where, all right, I've got somebody else got elected instead of me, so on my way out, and then I'm going to wave my pardon pen.
The warden pulls out the technicalities. He says, well, technically, you didn't get him to sign. Yeah. And then Denzel was like, yo, man, I'm the one who
I was
convinced him. He's doing this for me. But they were like, you had a week to get him to sign. And when we picked you up, that paper was still on the floor, unsigned. So technically, you didn't get him to do it, even though we see clear as day that Jesus did it for his dad. Even
already 6 in, let's just say they're generous and they might not about it 13.
Yeah. But you see, you can tell that Jesus did it for his dad because when he reads off his letter of intent, at the end of it, he said, and I wanted to, send a shout out to my father, you know what I'm saying, let him know I love him and things like that. Where that's the first time we actually hear him have any kind of compassion or something nice to say about his father.
And it's also interesting. What's weird though? Just notice the scene. Well, he got a fresh cut over his eye. The argument scene when he argues with Jesus, like he's got a cut. Denzel has a cut over his eye. Like what has he been doing out here in the streets? Is that an elbow from basketball? Maybe. I know Jesus ain't doing no elbow.
Because remember when he was talking with Big Time, he was like, "Yeah, man, I know your pops kind of got off his rocker, but back in the day, he used to be able to play some ball now."
Yeah, because it is messed up. Like, I mean, they're arguing. The mom tries to break them up, and he pushes her, and she hits her head.
Pushes Judy, and she smacks her.
She's done. Like, I think it's happening in another Spike movie, Quickland or something like that.
I believe so.
Like, he running chicks in the stoves. What's up with that, Spike? Yeah. But anyway, Spike, so that was crazy to me how it ends, because then he's in the yard, and I guess he had just heard about the letter, and they show him in the yard shooting, and he starts walking toward the wall, and my man we see in the very beginning of the movie when we first see him, the guy in the tower is like, "Yo, Jake, stop!"
He was like, "I will shoot you. I will shoot you."
And it's crazy. He throws the ball like out of the yard,
throws it over the wall,
in the same way that we see Jesus when they were arguing, throw the rock out of the court. That's what started the fight, because he threw it out of the court. You could have went and got it. Why was he like that? Was so crazy. The argument started because he's like, "Oh, you lost my ball. You threw it away." I'm like, "Man, you could have went and got it. It's right on the outside of the court. Nobody picked it up."
Right. It's the middle of the night, for crying out loud.
Give it up. Like, it's like, it's wild, dude.
But yeah, and then I think that was just like the ultimate, like, Spike's way of showing us like that, moving forward, that Jesus, will have his dad, in his heart, and continue to play, and do what he's going to do, have a successful career, but also keep his dad with him.
Well,
and
maybe also the dad also surrendered too, was like, that was him, like he felt that he identified. It's out of my control now.
Because you see, like, it shows Denzel throw it over the wall, but then it shows Jesus, he's in the gym wearing the big state jersey, and then like the ball just comes out of nowhere from the rafters.
It probably means nothing. Spike probably just did it because it looked cool.
I think it was just it was more like the symbolic. It was like the symbolism of showing them having a reconnection through basketball. That's how they were able to reestablish their love for each other through basketball. And it was cool because it's funny because, like, the only time you really see Denzel happy when he's out, like when he's smiling and he's really, oh my God, the face of joy, was when he goes to the shoe store and he gets that fresh pair of Jordan 13. He's like, oh yeah. But then at the end, it was funny just because, I love my sneakers too. You notice Ray Allen has on the 13s, but he's wearing the big state, what I'm saying? So the same one that his pops was wearing. So it's those are the little things that I think that, Spike was just trying to show that, at this point moving forward, it will be a positive, relationship between the two.
Like when he eventually gets out, that's probably going to be a really great homecoming for him, and they're going to reconnect and just, move on. Maybe
he's going to help out
because the thing is, the sister was over it already. Yeah, she was interesting to me. She was like, you didn't mean it when he first meets her, and after he gets out, and and he makes up the things like, yeah, I'm out on a special assignment, but she's like, I don't blame you, Daddy. You didn't mean to kill Mom.
Tells Jesus, she was like, I miss him so much. Mm-hmm. But Jesus is going to take care of everybody. He's going to take care of the
and it's a little different from Jesus.
You can also tell that the relationship between Jake and the daughter was completely different. That's Daddy's little girl. I'm sure she probably got the softer side of him all, the love and the good stuff. Whereas, with Jesus, it's like, dude, this dude is riding me like a drill sergeant constantly. But, like I said, when he gets out of jail, Jesus is going to take care of him because, we all know that Jesus ends up getting drafted to the Milwaukee Bucks and has a pretty long NBA career.
He's crazy, bro. But yeah, I think that's it, bro. Like that I didn't really got much more to say about it, man. But check it out if you haven't seen it, man. And it's called He Got Game. And it's just a lot of stuff we didn't cover, but this thing does have so many layers and so many characters and just so much going on, man. Like I say, the setup is ridiculous, but there's a lot of good stuff built into this film, man. You know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely. And, you know, as far fetched as it is, it does kind of like, it does have a fine line of a lot of like realistic things that do happen, you know, on many levels when it comes to, you know, the domestic violence or, you know, overbearing parents or just, you know, young athletes trying to further their careers and stuff. I mean, it touches on a lot of key points that people have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, you know?
Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. But yeah, I don't know what's next yet. I ain't figured out the next film, but we're going to be bringing back with more, hitting you in the head with more classics, man. You know what I'm saying? And this has been Monk. Catch me at Twitter, Instagram, at Monkey Blood. Follow the podcast at From Canopy on Twitter. You can email us from the canopypod at gmail.com.
This is Bobby Blockbuster. You can catch me on Instagram, Bobby Blockbuster 118.
Yeah. Peace.